My name is Cameron Alcock. I am from the group of the Mighty Vapor Goliath, and I am in grade 7. I am, as a matter of fact, the science officer on board. Well, even though it is a security ship, our job is to keep it, my job in particular, is to keep it running, keep all the equipment going, and make sure that our calculations are correct. If we're a tiny bit off with our calculations of the mortar range, we could hit a friendly ship. That would be catastrophic.
When Sacred Heart College asked Mindburst Workshop to facilitate this creative and critical thinking skills workshop, they said that there were two main learning objectives. The learners should explore the skills of collaboration, and the teachers should be exposed to the potential of project-based learning. Project-based learning is an immersive experience in which learners work things out for themselves and discover knowledge meaningful to them. It challenges the popular perception of learning as the passive process of receiving pre-designed knowledge from a teacher or an expert.
We chose the theme of designing a fleet of spaceships that will carry the human species to an Earth-like planet, ensuring its survival beyond the limits of the Earth. This theme created an opportunity for learners to design the whole of life in miniature.
Learners had to think of their health and well-being, processes of food production and waste management. Their ship's physical integrity, sustainable energy, and social contract would determine the way they worked and lived together. How they participated in an economy with other ships, how they would engage in trading materials and expertise, what recreation and entertainment they enjoyed, were also important processes to consider, all while developing an ongoing discovery and knowledge creation, the most fundamental aspects of life happening in parallel.
In order to create some hype around the project, we created our own little mashup film, but with our own original script.
No generation in the history of humankind has been faced with the challenges we are asking you, our children, to solve. It is with heavy hearts that we have to ask the ones we love to volunteer for a project that will separate them from us forever. We are asking you to take us to the stars, to find habitable Earth-like planets, to spread the DNA of our species throughout the galaxy, and perhaps, in time to come, throughout the galaxies beyond. $5 billion years from now, our sun will expand and become a red giant. The Earth will be consumed. Long before then, the intense heat of our dying sun will make all life impossible. The Earth is not sustainable, whatever we do. Long before that, perhaps sooner than we think, the human species will consume everything that can be consumed. Whatever sustainable strategies we create for the next few thousand years, we will eventually run out of space and materials to sustain the lives of all of our descendants. Eventually, we will have to leave. This is the hard truth we have to face up to. We have to seed human life on other planets. You may think that this is a project that can be left to future generations, but our Earth is running out of the resources we will need. We have to start the journey now. How can we prepare you for what we do not know? The best we can do is teach you what we know already about the habits of our universe, those basic laws we assume hold true wherever we go in our galaxy. We can help you build the ships that will carry you across the vastness of space. We can try to inspire you with the knowledge, the literature and art, the music your ancestors created. But once you're out there, you will only have each other. So start now to treat each other with the respect that you each deserve for the great sacrifice you are about to make. You will never arrive at your goal. It will take many generations. Your children's grandchildren's grandchildren's grandchildren may set foot on a planet that can offer our species the chance to continue. We have always thought of the Earth as our home. We now have to learn how to be at home in the universe. Thank you for your sacrifice. Carry us in your minds and in your genes. We all agree to do this because of our love for humankind and our determination to give it a future. Journey well.
We showed it to the learners during assembly a few days before the workshop, giving them time to think about it, collect junk to make the spaceships with, and to do some research.
When you have 160 learners from 3 different grades working together in a room, you have to create a very simple structure, a sequence of events, and a set of very clear rules that hold the experience together without feeling like too much of a constraint. If you plan the structure well and learners are clear about what the challenge is, they can freely explore and experiment within it. Ideally, the experience should mimic the dynamics of complex, self-organizing systems as experienced in reality.
I want to make something very, very clear to you. There are limited resources, and part of the challenge of this workshop is to use limited resources well.
Crews began their 2-day training by naming their ship and creating a logo for their crew. At the beginning of each stage, we gave crews a short, simple, written instruction with diverse images to stimulate their imagination. We didn't want to overwhelm them with a huge instruction manual or textbook. They then had to create a 2-dimensional design of the interior of their spaceship on paper. We had traced the outline of the ship onto the paper that covered their tables.
Next, crews had to translate their 2-dimensional design into a 3-dimensional model using a foam board base we had pre-cut into the shape of the ship. In this process, they were allowed to use the bits of junk that they had brought from home. They were not told what kinds of spaces to include. We wanted to see what they would come up with. Feedback from peer assessors a third of the way through the process would alert them to sections that were missing.
While crews were designing their spaceships, there were a number of parallel processes that added to the complexity of the experience, contributed to the way it mimicked reality, and made effective collaboration more of a challenge. Crews had to create their ship's social contract or constitution, which determined how they would make decisions, divide labor, implement disciplinary procedures, and screen outsiders before allowing them on board. They then had to use their constitution to vote on issues and record the outcomes of their votes.
Crews had to engage in trade. The currency was energy credits, but teams could also exchange materials and innovate other economic strategies. They could also buy knowledge from us to help them in their design process.
Crews had to choose members to attend short courses that were run on the stage. These covered topics like chemistry, xenobiology, and economics. The courses equipped teams to deal with various challenges.
Aliens don't just have to be the typical depiction that you think of when you picture an alien. It can be bacteria, for example. The oldest life form on this planet is known as Archaea. It has existed for 3.5 billion years. Do you guys think that we could have a conversation with an alien? Would it be possible to communicate with them, do you guys think?
Let's keep their hands up. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Well, everybody wants to talk. There's no group who wants to fight. Okay, so I'm going to give you an opportunity to talk to the aliens. Aliens, can you please come to the center of the floor?
I was just going to ask the aliens if there's a faster way to the planet we're going to, the east.
Great question.
There's
There's a faster way, but we want something in return. What would you like in return?
We would like samples of human DNA in various forms.
Is there any other planets that you know of that's close to Earth that we can visit?
There are no other habitable planets fit for human life that we know of closer to Earth than our destination.
What are the circumstances of us trading with you?
He wants to know, give us more details about the trade you're asking for.
We want human DNA samples to complexify our genetic code as we are a dying race. Our DNA is being targeted by a genetically modified virus, and we need to complexify our code with the DNA of other complex organisms. Your donation will help save our race, as our donation will help save yours.
Okay, let's get a question then.
If I would ever meet an alien, I would ask them what food do they eat on whichever planet they are on.
Let me think.
Okay, I think maybe I would ask them. First, I would say that we come in peace, that we don't want them to like attack us. Then I would say that I think they look really cool, and I think that they should. I would ask them if they wouldn't mind working together with us to sort of fix the Earth or find a different planet.
I got it. I would ask them to show me how they live, how they work, what things that they do. Just tell me like how they work and everything.
If I met an alien, I would ask them if they know any other planet that has life where we can go and live.
I don't know what I'd ask because I'd be so scared. So I'd be too creeped out. So I'll just stand there and I don't know.
Throughout the process, crews had to respond to curriculum-based challenges that we had brainstormed earlier with the teachers. They had to work out how many generations it would take to get to their destination. They had to create strategies for maintaining safe levels of CO2 in their artificial environments. They had to decode an encrypted message from aliens. They had to design scoops that would collect hydrogen ions from space to fuel their ramjets. Our interdisciplinary approach cut across the curriculum, creating novel opportunities for learning about languages, mathematics, natural science, physical science, economics, and design. At 4 different intervals in the process, crews also had to send representatives to work in teams of 3 with members from other crews to assess the work of crews, theirs included. The assessors were given a different but simple rubric each time.
A crucial part of project-based learning is regular feedback, reflection on feedback, and an opportunity to adapt. This was achieved in two main ways. The first was through the ongoing peer assessment process. The second was through a point system. Cruise points were represented on a screen and regularly updated in much the same way as points are represented in computer games. This technique is sometimes referred to as the gamification of education. The scoreboard tracked their achievements in terms of 4 kinds of credits. We represented this as an acronym called WISE. W was well-being and represented as green credits linked to nutrition as well as physical and mental well-being. I, for integrity, was represented as blue credits linked to the physical structure of their ship. S was for strategy and represented as red credits, accumulated through evidence of knowledge production and participation in democratic processes. And E, represented as energy, had black credits, and they served as the main currency. Well-being, integrity, strategy, energy.
Crews were also assessed by teachers. On the first day, teachers used an assessment rubric based on the framework for thinking skills developed by Robert Mazzano. On the second day, they interviewed crews in order to facilitate reflection on their experience of collaboration.
We have to admit that we didn't complete all the things we planned to do, but we think we have created a project-based learning model that is worth developing further. I think next time we will give more support to the peer assessors to ensure that they assess together in their assessment teams and engage the crews they are assessing in a more meaningful way, so as to provide a more effective feedback mechanism. We will also manage the process of voting better, so that it is more of a learning experience and not just an easy way to accumulate points. I think the courses could have been integrated more effectively into the challenges that followed. One of the main challenges for us was how learners found ways to hack the game, which was innovative in itself. They found clever ways of collecting credits rather than doing the actual work that was supposed to earn them the credits.
Effective project-based learning appeals to many different dispositions among learners, creating opportunities for everyone to get involved. It also encourages learners to harness this diversity and collaborate in the creation of responses to challenges. Learners have to learn how to listen to each other, how to give all ideas a chance, how to give and deal with feedback, how to divide and organize labor, how to strategize and manage time, how to monitor their progress, and how to deal with conflict.
It was a wild ride, seeing the kids struggle through the process, designing the 2D models and then cutting them out into a 3D model, seeing them struggle through the politics with each other, the economics of trading. It was phenomenal.
By the end of the 2 days, learners had designed surprisingly innovative spaceships, just one step closer to designing their own futures.
I thought that the Mindburst Space workshop was an incredible learning experience for our students. It allowed them to step out of a traditional educational context and really push their thinking in ways that perhaps they don't get to in a traditional classroom.
Well, I'd been doing a lot of reading about project-based learning, but haven't really seen any models. So this is quite exciting for me because I could see how it could be implemented in such a creative way. So just kind of seeing how all the tasks unfolded and how it brought in so many different subjects, I found quite fascinating. And I think I can actually use so many of these ideas for my own teaching.
I actually really enjoy it. I mean, I think it's fun. I think it's good for team building, and it's nice to get away from schoolwork for a little bit.
Like us getting to work with grade 7s and grade 8s, I think that's nice because we make different friends. And I also think it's nice that we get to get away from school, like Bella said.
It's been quite interesting. Like, along the way, we've also been learning quite a few stuff. But, yeah.
And it's a lot of fun to just interact with people who you never really interact with in class.
And also the whole idea of like building a model spaceship is, yeah.
What I thought about the workshop was that it like helped us to work together as a team, and also we also got to work with people from other grades. So it was fun. So we didn't work with the same people that we work with every day in class.
So we got to know people more and, just communicate with each other, and, it's cool. It's pretty cool.
I learned that space is a really, really big place. I learned that, and I learned that all the teachers are like have nice ideas as well. So they're not, when the teachers sort of realize that we're not doing work, they help, and they like to inspire us and help us.
I learned that teamwork is really important, that they should kind of stay in the middle and just like democracy. And also I learned a few things about space, like time travel and like how far. I don't know if this place that they're sending us to even exists, but yeah.
The space fleet concept, I think, worked very well because that's the age in which we're in. The children are looking ahead. What do they have to deal with as the future of Earth? And there was a whole lot of things that they would appeal to all the children.
What I think about the exercise is that it's fun because it's challenging sometimes, like if they give us a challenge, and it's very realistic with the money and stuff too, because we have to pay for things and we get rewarded for, if we go to a course or something, we get rewarded.
And I think Andre or something had an auction. So we had to. I mean, not one person could decide how much money we needed to give away. We needed to actually say see how much we have, and then contribute.
It makes you think of things that you wouldn't really have considered if you were just doing like normal maths in class.
Look, I think the idea was fantastic. Very exciting. Creative, and it really sort of catches the attention of the learners. In terms of project-based, also, yes, excellent project, which really also captured the learners, and also taught them much about collaboration and working within groups, which is a very useful skill for anybody, no matter what profession.
I think that it's an integral part of any learning experience for students. It will prepare them for the environment that they're going to go into, whether it's at higher education or ultimately into the workplace, or if they're going to work by themselves as entrepreneurs.
We've learned that it's really important that everyone has to contribute, because otherwise then it does start feeling like a delegation, not a collaboration.
And also the thing with the voting slips, I thought it was quite a cool idea. It sort of forced us to get everybody's opinion on it, whereas maybe if we didn't have it, we wouldn't have asked for everybody's opinion.
I think it was great. I think the children was very involved as much as the teachers, and I think this was a wonderful experience for the kids and the teachers.
Well, I think it could have gone longer. We needed more days, but this workshop was actually really nice. Yeah.
I think it's nice because we do really need critical thinking for school. Like for our NS exams, they ask a few questions that we haven't really learned, that we need to think about, and I think it's useful and helpful to make our brains work more.
I'm all for it. I think what we're doing is very important, and a lot of people take it for granted. Although I promise you, if you suddenly said let's do school work, everyone would be like, no.
When we started the project, I thought, I don't want to do that. I wouldn't want to do that. I like Earth way too much. But now I'm kind of excited, and I'm kind of like, darn, are you sure we can't actually go? Especially because I'm really proud of the spaceship we've designed, and I think I could actually live there for a while.
I think that initially they struggled to collaborate, but they learned to persevere and to persist. They learned to make the best of the group that they were with. And the challenges that they experienced today really allowed them to gel. And so I think that they really enjoyed it, which is important for any kind of learner experience. They were engaged, and mostly they had a whole lot of fun while they were learning.
Allow them to find us a home in the shortest amount of time possible. So even though it is virtually impossible, it would be a dream to step upon an environment that could support human life.